Did you know there was a Disney princess living in Paris's Latin Quarter in the 1830s? And she was even involved with Puccini's La Bohème. Her name is Lucia, but they call her Mimi. She does embroidery for a living, lives in a romantic dream world, and she loves Rodolfo. I'm Samuel Borlad, and this is Why Do I Care? Welcome to another episode of Why Do I Care? Today's episode is all about our ill-fated heroine, Mimi. Remember how Rodolfo introduces himself? Well, when he's done, he goes ahead and prompts Mimi to do the same, so I'll just let her introduce herself to you. Mimi is the archetype of the naive and delicate, sickly, and indeed terminally ill young woman. She reminds me a heck of a lot of one of my exes. Beautiful, feminine, delicate, and romantic to the extreme. To me, she seems a lot more one-dimensional than the others in this story. But as I said, there are people like that. That's not to say that Mimi is a bad person. Not at all. She is almost too good. Too pure, a bit like a sacrificial lamb. She reminds me a lot of many of the Disney princesses, kind of there to be saved by the hero. Here, of course, she cannot be saved, and so she's pitied and loved by the audience. Mimi comes knocking on the door, looking for a way to light her candle which has blown out. Incidentally, her illness is foreshadowed immediately as she enters. She already has difficulty breathing, and Rodolfo helps her sit down by the fire. He immediately notices her sick complexion, but also her beauty. After his introduction aria that we listened to last week, Mimi proceeds to introduce herself to him, and therefore to us. She tells us that she is called Mimi, although her name is really Lucia. She doesn't know why she is called Mimi, and we never hear about that again. It's an oddly useless piece of information. She likes to dream of things that are poetic and romantic, a perfect fit for our poet Rodolfo. She lives alone in a small room above our friends and makes her living with embroidery. Despite having met just moments before, Mimi and Rodolfo fall passionately in love, as can plainly be seen in the duet that immediately follows the two introductions. Let's take a look at that too. In Act 2, Rodolfo and Mimi are seen as two lovebirds flirting with each other. He buys her a pink bonnet that will later come to symbolize their love. Rodolfo's friends continuously mock him for their flirtiness. Act 3 has the two wanting to break up from each other, each in turn confiding in Marcello what bothers them. Rodolfo is angry at Mimi for having been with a Viscount. He scathingly calls him Viscontino, adding the diminutive Italian suffix to his title. This is apparently someone Musetta introduced her to in an act Puccini ultimately decided to omit, but it does give us a little context for this. In the end, though, the issue is Mimi's tuberculosis, which is getting much worse, and which is worrying both our lovers. In her second aria in this opera, Mimi then asks Rodolfo to return her things. The bonnet, however, should remain with Rodolfo to remind him of her. Let's listen to Donde Lieta. Isn't this music breathtaking? Well, you all know the end. We've discussed it a few times already. Mimi comes crawling up the stairs, helped by Musetta halfway through Act 4, with the tuberculosis fully developed. She can hardly breathe, let alone climb up the stairs. The friends understand that this is likely her end, and go off to seek help, buy medicine and a muff to warm her hands. Mimi asks for one as a sort of last wish. Colline, as we've discussed, sells his coat to buy back Musetta's earrings, and Chonal just leaves Rodolfo and Mimi alone to give them some privacy. At this point, we get to relive their relationship together with them. They recall all the episodes we've just watched. Puccini does this by masterfully recalling bits from previous scenes musically, but it's all different now, because now what was previously exuberant and passionate is subdued and lacking in breath because Mimi's lungs are destroyed by the illness. All of our friends then slowly return, bringing with them the various items they had gone out to get. They all hope and pray for a miracle, but Mimi passes without them noticing at first. I hope you enjoyed getting to know Mimi. If you did, please like this video and subscribe and follow me for more about why you should care about opera. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Tell me what puts you off or what excites you about opera. See you next week for more on opera and why do I care.